Try once again. There's a chance.
Oliko se ovikelista lukossa?
There it is. Yeah, we go down here.
I'll take mine back.
No, you're not. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about that. Good morning. Oh, of course. Morgan. Good morning. Good morning, va? Hyvää aamuta.
Hei hei.
Hei.
Terve.
Terve.
Kiitos kutsusta tänne.
Niin.
Tosi hieno tulla taas
Kiitos,
uudestaan.
että tulet. Ja kuka tämä on?
Hän on minun isäni.
No, joo, minä luulen, että se on. Joo.
Siellä Lippitsen alla. Siellä.
Joo. Erkki täällä.
Minä olen Pertti.
Pertti, okei, haloo Pertti.
Minä haluan erityisesti muistaa Arjalta paljon terveisiä ja Markukselta. Niillä on erittäin hyvät muistot sinusta
No,
ja sinun vieraanvaraisuudestasi.
Kiitos. Joo. Sano teille, että minä on anxious to see him again. Some things I can make, some things I can't. Hey, hello.
Hauska nähdä.
Niin. Kiitos.
Kiitos
Hi,
kutsusta.
Marianne.
Hi.
Hi, Jan. Good. How are you?
Fine,
You're
Dad.
looking
Very
beautiful
fine.
like oh. Ooh.
Sorry
I made you walk
Something new from
That's all
Finland.
right. This is
Oh, wow.
Hello.
Recording this American music.
Maija.
Luca is playing
Play the violin at your garage.
Oh, all right.
And this is for
So,
you.
who's playing it?
Something for Finland.
Yeah.
Thank you
Oh,
for this
good.
invitation. Thank you. For your sauna.
And you are
Lauri.
spell it.
Lauri.
Laurie.
Lauri.
Lauri. All right,
Yes.
like we
Lauri.
would say Lauri. Okay, and this is your
My
husband.
husband, yeah.
Okay, these two people I know. Hello again
So nice
to
to meet you.
Nice.
It was a long time ago.
Yes, it was. And this is your
My
husband?
husband, yes.
Ilkka.
Ilka. Nice to meet you. And this is someone's father.
This is my
Yes.
brother.
Okay. Hello. Nice
Hello,
to see
I
you.
have been 10 years ago.
Oh, wonderful.
I-
You came
yeah.
here when the girls were here?
Yeah, with Mark.
Well, where are the babies?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we have
Lauri.
to think
Niin,
here.
nice to meet you. And we have not met.
No, we talked in phone.
On the phone.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I knew that your name was familiar, but that's the circumstance.
Thank you for inviting us.
Of course, we're happy to have you here.
I don't know. I don't know what the girls want to do with their babies. I can't wait to see them. Yeah, I'm sure. See, it's pleasant over here, but over there.
Yeah, it's really hot.
Noel, that's our son, 6.5 months old.
Let me see Noel. Yeah, I figured
Noel,
that's
yeah.
where Noel comes from. No, yeah, he is.
All right, and where's our other little baby? She's old. She's a year and a half.
He's drinking water. he's happy
Well, we
with
should
that.
probably just want to leave them to
Good.
sleep. Yeah.
Okay, good job. So, the two of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
How are your children doing?
They're doing good.
Okay,
yeah.
so maybe what we do is we just like sit on the porch
Yeah.
over here because it's near the babies and look at it's so I'm worried about people getting too hot. It's all over television.
Oh,
That you cannot be out in it for very long. You've got to be where there's air and
The truth is, off the lake, there's good air.
not here there is, but over there. See, we've got these trees where we were on the dock and all. Not so much. So why don't we get some chairs for I get Corey and we'll bring the chairs.
American music actually.
Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding! Oh, good.
Old American.
Oh, 18th century. Oh, but still classical. Yes. Oh, how nice. American classics. I love it. Well, come, we'll sit up here.
Can we hear the children if they cry?
We'll get some refreshments
Now,
here.
it's too hot to get in the water. I go in the evening. I spend the day inside. I know it. But we've had a good time. We had a wonderful Okay. All right, I'm going to go
Cold
put
white
this.
wine.
Okay.
Okay, do you need any help?
Yes, you girls come with me to carry some things back, okay?
To the core. And that's Annie.
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 Girl.
Annie. Yeah.
She very old.
9 years old. 8 years old. 8 years old.
Okay.
8 years. Yeah.
Took a rocking chair for you, for the old man.
How you doing? Yeah.
He's got to be Norwegian.
I think he's a Swede.
I know. Hey, Johnson?
Johnson.
You put your finger in your ear and what do you get? Johnson's wax.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Can you believe after all these years, I've never heard that? Very good. Well, come, please sit down. And we will get some pancakes for you. That showed up it was given to me by a friend.
Okay.
And he wasn't a military person or anything else, just a friend. And he gave that to me. He said, maybe you can find a place for this. I said, sure, maybe. And so I put it there to test it out and decided that's where it stays.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where it's been.
No. He's wrong. Actually, remember, this is going to be historical monument, so it's
Now that you people are here, that'll make it a historical monument. Oh, look at, wow, you must tend bar. Yeah.
For men?
Okay.
For me.
Oh, okay. This is for men too? Okay. Oh, no, keep it. Okay. Here you are.
Eric, you've got so many beers now. How many did you open?
Amerikkalaista niistä.
All right, and I have one here. So, all right, you boys. Somebody gets. I go at 1 o'clock. My best girlfriend moved to Florida, and she came up for 2 weeks. But she spent
Hey, thanks, Barry.
the first. Well, she leaves Friday, and she spent it all with her family. And she leaves Friday. And today was the only day we could see her. And if I don't see her, she's back to Florida. And so I'm going to spend a couple hours with her today. And I told Frank and Monica that they can join you for lunch if they choose. If they don't, they can.
Okay.
So everybody's sort of doing
Great.
what they need to do. Now here's a suggestion. If you think it would be too hot to go down to Carthy's and eat, which I think it might be, I would suggest you go to Mooney's and
Are they
sit
open
in the
for
bar.
lunch?
Oh yes, and it's air conditioned.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
And
I'd like that.
I think that's what I think
I
that's
was
what
there.
you should do.
Oh, I think we can handle that.
Okay. Yeah, and you know what? what? It's very casual. This is another restaurant that I own.
Yeah,
I think we went
they
another
were
one
there the
last
last
time we
time.
were here. We ate
Okay.
like
Yeah.
the most, like the best steaks ever.
Well, that you can go and have a
New
little
York or
steak
something.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well have a nice lunch, and then you don't worry about so much for dinner.
Mary Ann, my daughter sent me there for my birthday.
I know you stopped here then. Well, salute to all
Ah,
of you.
salute.
Okay.
Keepies.
Cheers,
Keepies.
keepies,
Welcome.
keepies.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
And
Thank you.
then, these are my suggestions. Okay.
Yeah.
So
You can tell, she says suggestions, but the way she has put it
She does
together, you know, that's the way to go.
She wants to go. She wants to go in there.
Plan B.
Anyway, and then I don't know what do you think about a sauna today? Do you think it's too hot?
The Finnish people go always sauna when it's hot because it's double hotter in sauna, and then when you come out, it feels cool.
Oh, so that's how instead of air conditioning, that's how you use it. Okay. Well, you have to figure that out then. What you want to do with Eric? Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, but we just have to make sure the babies are okay.
Yeah.
All right. But
Just fix them.
the
They're
mothers,
having a good
yeah.
nap. That's
okay,
great.
and we have to make sure he doesn't get too much sun too, because he doesn't know when he's had too much.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, look at him already. Look at him. Okay.
80 degrees
In the water.
Wow.
in the water. Oh,
That's a
very
lot.
That's
Yeah.
more than my shower.
And that was a week ago. And so
All this hot
right now,
weather.
it's, you know,
A week ago it was 80 and today it's 32.
yeah,
It
we'll
never
make it feel like 30.
but it never gets this hot here.
Never. I mean, this is I don't remember getting.
And dry. We need rain desperately.
Yeah, look at
We
the
came
water.
at the right time then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terrible.
What's it like where you all live? Now where do you live right now? Where? Missä sinä asut?
Lahdessa tai Nastolassa.
It's in
Lahden
Finland,
vieressä.
yeah, near
Near
Lahti.
Lahti. Yeah, very near.
Okei. Kiitos. Okei. So, siellä on, ei ole kuuma, ei ole.
Ei ole.
No,
Have you been to Finland lately?
no, I'm really overdue to go to Finland.
When did you last time go to
Actually, it's been over
March
2
20.
years ago, probably 2.5, almost 3 years ago. Yeah, so it's time.
It's a long trip.
Well, it's a long trip, but it's worth it. So we're definitely going to go.
In March 25 he performed 25?
21st.
21st. Cuba first day. March
Yeah.
21st, 2012. He's performing a special concert with the Symphonia. What
Yeah,
symphony?
I'm a soloist. We are playing concerto, cello concerto in Jyväskylä, with Jyväskylä Symphony Orchestra.
Jyväskylä.
Yes, in the middle of Finland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Voit toivottaa hänet tervetuloa.
So if you want to come, so welcome to listen to the concert.
This August coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really.
No, 2012.
2012.
Yeah. Sorry.
That may be the time for me to come
Maybe.
because I'm looking for a good fix. Yeah, reason, and a date to focus on, and that might be it.
And Janice doesn't know it, but I'm taking her over that time too.
You can come together.
Oh, now she knows.
Now I know. we're spending, you hear the expression, we are spending our children's inheritance.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Where in Finland do you usually go? Do you have relatives somewhere?
Well, yes. Actually, where all of you people live is one place.
Near
But-
Lahti.
Yeah. But the other is Oulu, because my father's My father grew up in Oulu. I lived in Oulu for a little bit, and so it's from here to here, and and anywhere in between.
Jyväskylä is between Oulu and Hakkila.
Hei Mai, Erkki, voisitko nyt kertoa sinun oman tarinasi, miten sinä tänne Amerikkaan tulit ja missä sinä synnyit? Ja se oli niin mielenkiintoinen vaihe silloin, kun sä kerroit 10 vuotta sitten. Nämä muut ei vielä tiedä sitä.
Kertoo, että sinä voin mitä?
Et kerrot oman tarinasi.
How did you come to America?
Yeah, okay. I thought he was
Where
gonna
did you
he was
born?
gonna record it or something.
He's not recording anything.
All the time, so
So I have no choice except to be recorded. Well, you really wanna hear it?
Yes.
Okay. Of course, it would be appropriate to do it in Finnish,
Do it and finish.
but I can't. I can't. I don't have. Maybe with another couple years of practice, it might come back. It would be painful to everybody, starting with me, if I tried to do it now. So hopefully you will excuse the fact that I'll be speaking it in English. And I appreciate your asking for that. Both of my parents were born in Finland. My father was born in Oulu, and then my mother was born in it will come to me, but it's it's a little bit further south. I mean, further south of Oulu, and Jyväskylä? Missä se on?
in the middle of
In the middle.
We are from Jyväskylä.
Oh, you live in Jyväskylä?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it may be that I'm thinking of that because I when I said that, because I you've mentioned where you are from, and I would have picked up on that earlier. Anyway, I don't think, and that's in the middle. That's really in the middle. Yeah. No, my mother was born in a somewhere that's not that far south, a little bit further north.
Okay.
But anyway, and so they're both from Finland. They both came to the United States actually several times. They came several times as young people, young adults, not children, but as young adults, as many Finns were doing at that point in time. They came, they stayed a little bit, but then went back to Finland again. They grew very familiar with the U.S. Well, not very familiar, but familiar. And Dan learned English very well. Mom's English was not as good, but she learned as well. And then 3 years after they were married, then I was born. And so anyway, then we traveled to. As a 3-year-old, we traveled to Oulu to see my father's place, and then traveled to what I keep wanting to say is Jyväskylä. Jyväskylä is where you're from, so I think I've got that wrong. But anyway, it's somewhere in the middle of Finland.
Yeah.
And eventually I'll think of it. But anyway, So we traveled to Finland a couple of different times. And then when I was 3 years old, then Mom and Dad had arranged, worked with the authorities for me to get my citizenship. So I got my citizenship, American citizenship, when I was 3 years old. And then Mom actually had gotten her citizenship at the same time. Dad's citizenship came later because he hadn't been that good a boy, so not serious. I mean, he wasn't a criminal or anything, but he hated all.
What it took to get one.
Yeah, all the constraints, and the inability to do some of the things that he wanted to do for me. So, but at any rate, he did eventually win his citizenship, and was awarded it. And anyway, we then did move to the U.S. Now, as a very little child, I had been to the U.S., but that's hard to even, I don't remember it, and that doesn't count. So, but really the time when I began to know the U.S. Was when I was from 3 years on. And Dad was really at this point in time in danger of being deported because of his prior engagement with frankly to some extent with the communist friends, and so there was a time when it seemed that we were going to be deported, but at any rate, didn't get deported. Eventually, Dad, God bless me, he took it to court very strongly. He got many friends, and a good attorney, and we were able to get rid of that problem. And then, in the meantime, we had gone to Finland one more trip to Finland. But then when I was still 3 years old, we moved to the U.S. and from that point on, then that's where we lived, was in the U.S.
Whereabouts?
Pardon?
Whereabouts in America?
Oh, actually in Milwaukee. Yeah, we moved to Milwaukee.
Milwaukee?
No, that's Wisconsin. That's Wisconsin. Yeah, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And there were many Finns in Milwaukee, in the Milwaukee area, in Wisconsin in general, and Minnesota, further north. But Dad had enough friends in the Milwaukee area then that we moved to Milwaukee, and established a nice home there. My father got a nice job. He was a welder. My father was a welder, You all know the term welder?
I don't know actually. What is?
Dr. Explain. They fuse metals together.
Uh-huh. Okay, heat science.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and in a boiler works, a company that made boilers,
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
boilers, and he did the welding of the
Yes.
seams, and as a result, he ruined his eyesight and his hearing. But anyway, we lived a nice life in Milwaukee. I grew up really with a very normal
American.
middle class life, really, and very fortunate in that. By then, of course, I mean, by the time I went to school, I spoke, of course, perfect English. Mom and Dad always had an accent.
Oh, yeah. But what brought you to Olean?
Well, that's
Long story.
that's a long story, but no, that's easy to. I spent a lot of time on that early part there. We actually we did live in the Milwaukee area all the way through my school years, high school years, and college. I went to the University of Wisconsin, and so for all that time we lived in Milwaukee and Wisconsin, and I'm a Wisconsin boy. I'm a Finn at heart,
Always.
always, but I'm also a Wisconsin boy. So Dad learned to love it. There were enough Finnish friends there so that he was able to remain in contact with his Finnish friends. But it's also a very strong Midwestern American town, and it was great. And that's I went to high school there. Did reasonably well in high school, very well in high school, and then from there to the University of Wisconsin, and had a scholarship at the University of Wisconsin. So I got a really great education, which of course many people in America were able to do. And then after graduation, then I interviewed for jobs. Did you know the word interview?
Yeah.
And that's it's the way it's still done, where when you're ready to graduate from college, you then interview a number of different companies and hopefully get offers. And anyway, I had done well with my schoolwork and all the rest, so that I got many offers. But the offer that I took was with Alcoa.
Oh, okay.
Does that mean anything to you? Alcoa is the ALCOA,
Yeah.
Aluminum Company of America.
Yeah, okay. Right.
And it was the
That's
largest.
how it is, yeah.
It was the largest aluminum company in America and in the world, actually. The largest aluminum company in the world, and the best one. And so, at any rate, I was very pleased to get that. Dad was very proud that I had gotten that, and Mom was. So, and then from there on, and then my interests and my career revolved around Alcoa, and then actually at that point in time, I also did get married, but not to Marianne. At that point, I got married to another lady, Nancy, who who was a fine lady, and in fact is the mother of my children. And we've maintained a friendship all along, so it's good. But at any rate, then what brings us to around this point is that well, she since moved on to another location. I married Mary Ann, and Mary Ann has grown to love this place.
Oh, yeah. She was
Like
born
I-
and raised
like I-
around here.
Yeah. And we and the kids love her, so it's a nice
That's a good situation.
situation. Really is. Very, very good. So I don't know that there's anything else. I'm not even sure that was worth saying, but but I don't think there's anything else worth saying. So
I was in school with her sister, Tony.
Oh, that's
We graduated
right.
together.
That's right. For heaven's
And my
sake.
husband taught Francis at the Y.
He played
He
basketball.
played
for him.
basketball for him.
He helped basketball, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Now he's a good lawyer.
Yes, he is.
And I was on one of his cases one time.
Oh, really?
And jury.
In jury duty when he won.
How
No
did
problem.
you came up with Cutco idea?
Oh, the
How did
Cutco.
that
Yeah.
got
Well,
started?
Yeah. Well, good. Pretty important thing to talk about. When as I started interviewing companies, I look for. All right, Annie. Do you want to come out, or are you just saying hello?
Boss.
Come on out. Come on. Hey, come on. Hey.
Täällä on iso puuta.
Oh, maybe.
Joo.
Oh, oh. No, the neighbors next door. Hey, Annie, stop it.
The Cutco goes way
Yeah,
back. Actually,
yeah.
it was
Okay.
Alcatraz.
Well, and before that, well, actually, it was Cutco first. No, it was Alcatraz. Good for you. At any rate, as I interviewed companies, I looked at a lot of them. I had many offers, and decided that I would like to take to go with a company that made product I was interested in, and Alcas, which was a major company, a big company, also made knives called Cutco knives. Yeah, and those being a good Suomalainen poika, Ukos meant a lot to me, and so that was really one of the reasons I decided, well, I'll go with that company, and of course they really were they were probably the best and strongest company interviewing at that time. So anyway, then I joined on with them, and that would have been in 19. Well, I'm not sure I'm going to get the year right, but at any rate, when I was, no, I don't think I can get the year there. But anyway, I took a position with them, and they made me, as I hired on, they made me the manager of their major operation in the area. It was a nice, wonderful thing to have. And so that began my real working career. And it was as as a managing engineer. I had enough engineering background so that I could really function as an engineer, but also I had a real desire to become a manager, and so I was able to do both things and do them well, and the company promoted me then several different times, I couldn't have been happier and to have that background. So at any rate, that's a short. Actually, what I left out of there is that in the very beginning after college, I didn't go right with Alcoa. I interviewed a number of different companies and spent time with other companies, but anyway, I gave you the short version. And so the other thing that really needs to be said is that through all of this, I was not a citizen of the United States yet, and neither were Mom and Dad, and they were still in danger of being deported. Which really was terrible. And at that point, at that stage, I then understood enough about everything to know that that was just plain unfair as hell. So I proceeded to then work with Dad. Dad had very few contacts. He had a lot of guts and a lot of courage, but not many contacts. I really came in with a lot of contacts that I was able to draw. And then Dad also, again, he hired a very good attorney, and out of that then came the finalization of this whole thing, where I was able to be absolved of any lingering guilt for having avoided citizenship, and more importantly, Dad got the same. He got some resolution of that. So anyway, we by the year 1960, it took a long time. We were at a point where we were able to be full-fledged American citizens and feel comfortable that we were going to be there permanently, and so anyway. But in the process, you had asked the question, where did Cutco come in? Cutco came in the middle of that, and it's been a marvelous part of my life to have this. What happened is that I didn't relate that very well, because it isn't that Cutco hired me. What the real case is that Cutco, I I realized that Cutco was something that made sense to me, so that I offered to begin running some operations for them. So
Okay.
I started running some of their operations. They had operations nationwide. I began running some of their operations nationwide. Did that well enough that they began to then add to my territory, add to my area.
More responsibility.
Responsibility, and so that within a matter of 3 years, I was running all of the Cutco operations in the U.S.
Wow.
Headaches.
No,
No, the knife sells themselves.
Yeah.
Once you have a knife,
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. I did. I mean, I was able to realize it. They were very easy things to market, and they were made very well. I knew how well they were made. And so it was something that I could easily dig into, and so actually that was so successful that then I became vice president, and then president, and then at a point it became apparent that Alcoa said, to me, he said, Eric, you really are doing a marvelous job running Cutco, and actually Alcas was what it was. And that if you thought that you would be interested in buying it,
okay.
that we would be willing to sell it to you. So that opened up a wonderful door to be able to. And I quickly said yes.
Now, are all the knives made in Olean, or are they made elsewhere in Germany and
Well,
Korea?
the answer is, for all practical purposes, they're all made in Olean.
Oh.
Yeah, all made in Olean. And really have been since day one.
Wow.
Once you have a set of the knives, you wouldn't, there's nothing else. But your sales concept is much different too, that you don't sell them in stores.
Yeah,
You don't retail them.
Yeah. I don't know if the rest of the people have a sense of what that sales concept is, but
It does work.
Yeah, it really is. It's totally different than any other knife sales in the United States. There are other products that are sold the way we sell Cutco, but knives were the only knife company. And that is that we sell them through people that actually run their own little entity. They run their own little sales organization. And we've got hundreds of those in the United States, hundreds of little organizations that sell Cutco. And together, then they're very, very effective in the amount of sales that they can make, and it's a very powerful way to get the product made, sold, and it's become a very strong brand in the United States. I think, without question, it's the strongest brand in the United States.
So take good care of them though.
Yes.
They say you can put them in the dishwasher, but I do not.
We love our knives. We just love them. Yeah.
Well, that's nice to hear, and admittedly we hear it a lot. And remember, if you have any problems with them, send them in. We fix them up.
Eric,
There haven't been any problems.
I sent an email to them to bring their knives back to be.
Sorry.
Yeah, we forgot.
We were stupid with these things.
Yeah.
Well, that is too bad. You know,
You mail it in, and they'll take care of it.
yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
That's the answer. Just simply mail, and if you don't have the address, we'll get the
Open
address.
Yes,
New
we-
York,
yeah.
we'll get them there.
And you don't have to come here to get good service.
I like the curly as the curly, she's a buck.
What we do with our daughter, we have ours sharpened, then we take them down to our daughter in New Jersey and pick hers.
She had a grandmother's knives.
So there is
That's
any
the way to do it, yeah.
there is any possibility to sharpen in Finland? No.
Not really.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not in any. I mean, you could find somebody to sharpen them, but
Yeah. But yeah.
I wouldn't. We don't recommend it.
Yeah. Of course. Of course.
But I think they are still sharp even if
Yeah.
you have had
10
them
years,
like
after
10
10
years.
Yeah.
They're still
The
sharp.
truth is, I should have been more alert to recommending that you bring them, because that would have been so simple. Well,
Yes.
not so simple, but how did you get here? Did you fly?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to New York and then to Buffalo.
Yeah. Just put them in your suitcase, and then they come here, and then we could have.
Mail it back to you.
Yeah. Why?
Next time then. Yeah.
Next trip.
It will be here.
Next trip.
Tomorrow.
You can, so they make it back, they make it back. Well, you know what we could do is when we go over there for his concert, bring the knives back, and then you can mail them back to them. That'd
That's
be-
one plan. Plan B.
That's not a very
We
good
have many
plan.
plans here.
No, Janice,
What?
you are wrong.
What?
Company economy will not do that. What we can do is find out what knives she has. We take, make sure ours are sharp, same
No,
ones that
no,
she
no.
has are sharp.
Let's do it
as
their
his.
way. No,
Why
no,
not?
no.
Well, here.
We'll just bring
Wait.
it
Let me simplify this discussion. At the outset, I had definitely envisioned that you would each walk away from here with a full set of Cutco knives. And so you will have. So then what you can do is once you have and you can decide whether you want us to ship it to you, that set, or whether you want to carry it with you, whatever. We can talk about that and think about that. But what you can do then is when you get those home, then you can start using those and then pack up your existing ones and send them to me here, and then we will sharpen those, and then you'll always have a spare set. So, and I mean that. That's really the
Wow.
nice idea.
Have you ever planned to sell Cutcos in Finland?
Meillä on
Do you
täydet
ever
setit,
have
mitä
that
me
kind of
lähdetään
plans
täältä.
to do?
Well,
Hän on.
actually, I would love to.
Uh-huh.
I would love to. Realistically, it's a tough thing to begin. I mean, it could be done.
Mm-hmm.
It could be done. It could be done. But it's what makes our system work is the fact that we use college students
Yeah.
to sell them. And the college students have the intelligence to be able to do a good job
They're taught how
of
to do it.
explaining the product. They have the enthusiasm to let the customer know how good the product is, and they, by and large, have an attractive enough personality and looks and everything else that when they go into a home, that the people want to buy.
That's smart.
All right.
Yeah.
So it has that magic to it. It's the youth engagement, the
You
youth
bring them here by
involvement.
bus loads, don't you?
Pardon?
You bring them in on buses as college students. I've seen buses at the Cutco.
Well, that's a show.
Show the students.
Oh, yes, oh, yeah, oh, yes, a good point though, yeah. Yeah, as part of strengthening this program, we do bring our candidate managers here for training. And we bring them here for, it varies, sometimes it's just 2 or 3 day training program, sometimes a week-long training program. And we bring them here, and they come here already satisfied that Cutco's a good product. When they leave, they are convinced. Great product.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's really, it's a powerful mechanism for increasing their commitment to the product.
The name of the game, take care of your knife. Yeah.
Well, take care of your knives, take care of your people who sell you knives.
Oh, yeah.
Don't use them on your husband.
You always, I never put mine in the dishwasher, although they say you can, but I don't.
You always wash them by hand.
I wash them by hand.
Yeah, and we find that most people do, although we think it's a smart thing to recommend that they wash them by hand, but we know that a lot of people don't. They put them in a dishwasher.
But I take care of mine. I think most everybody in Olean must have 1 or 2 or maybe a whole set.
Oh,
of
yeah.
knives, don't
Oh,
they?
yeah.
Beef and Barrel uses them.
Beef and barrel.
Yeah.
They use them.
What
But
is
I
actually the
wonder how
reason that
many
we shouldn't
of
put
those-
them to the dishwasher? What's the reason actually?
The reason is, and it's not an irreversible
Yeah.
circumstance, but when you put them in the dishwasher, unless you do it very carefully, in the dishwashing, they
Yes.
bump into one another.
So these little
They,
places.
they will nick the edges.
Yeah.
I like that. Isn't that cute? Yeah. And this is Monica, and just some chips, and we'll get some dip.
Monica is our visitor, one of our 2 visitors from Germany.
Oh, yeah,
Deutsche.
I met already.
Oh, you did? Oh, you did meet?
At the bar.
My husband is working at the bar, that's right.
Yeah.
Is he back? Yeah. Okay, we'll bring him over too. He's a nice guy and he's a good guy, but he's not nearly as good as his wife.
Whereabouts in Germany? Whereabouts in Germany?
Okay,
What city?
just dip.
Yes.
It's American, okay?
Yeah. Thank
Oh, what's her name?
Annie.
And
Annie. And she's so cute.
Hellhausen,
What can I get for anybody?
Frankfurt,
Well.
München.
Another beer?
Erkki, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
you're very welcome. Ole hyvä. Yes.
And there is places to put the knives that they don't pick. That's fine too.
That's right. If you had that,
Yeah.
then of course it would be wonderful.
Yeah.
But most people don't
No,
have it,
yes.
and we hate to market a product
Yeah. Yeah.
that they have to make adjustments to their dishwasher.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so we don't, and instead we just encourage them to do it by hand.
Okay.
Sooner or later, I think we're going to have to change it. I think we're going to have to find some way to make it more practical for people to begin to
Okay. Yeah.
to let it go through a dishwasher.
So that's as important to put them to the box that they are
Yes,
in the right
yes,
places.
yes, I think, and there's a way to do it. There really is.
Yeah.
We haven't found the need to do it, and so we haven't done it. But,
Yeah.
but over time, I think we'll find the need, and then we'll do it.
Okay.
I like San Diego.